Since the first year of sixth form did quite well, it got over 500 views, I decided to do a sequel to that video, which is this video now. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the second year of sixth form. This could also benefit like people that are going to year 11 as well, so if you're in like year 11 you can watch this too. Year 11 was calm, but by the time I got into like year 13 I feel like that's when things started going all over the place. Like at the beginning it was calm, do not get me wrong. In September like everything was smooth. It was good to see each other again and be in each other's classes again after like a long 6-month lockdown. By the time November hit, that's when things started going down. People started to isolate during November because people were starting to get sick since it was winter, and people started to like get COVID a lot more. It even got to a stage where like even I had to isolate. I didn't get COVID by the way, but I had to isolate because I was sitting next to someone that got COVID, and it got to a point where everybody had to isolate in my year group. And I don't think my school was the only school that did this, like other schools did this. Then Christmas break comes and then we were all expected to like go back to school. Instead of that happening, we had to go through another lockdown which lasted 2 months, so we weren't in actual school until March, the beginning of March. A lot of us were thinking, how are we going to pass our exams and stuff? We didn't have enough classroom time to actually do proper learning and stuff like that, but luckily God removed all them exams, and yeah, majority of us are in good places. This kind of messed up a lot of things for us, like especially when we got our results and stuff. Some people did well because they had good predictions. On the other hand, some people didn't do as well. Like their predictions don't actually dictate what they could actually get in the exam, since like their classwork performance is different to their exam performance, and that's the case for a lot of people. That influenced like where a lot of us went, but at the end of the day God has a plan. Like just because you wanted to do this doesn't mean it's the right thing. Like God knows everything, he's omniscient, so that's what you need to know at the end of the day. Like even for non-believers, like that's what happens. That's just reality of life. Like it's not just a straight line. Sometimes you go this way, sometimes you go that way. You don't just take one direction. When you're going to a destination you have to take different routes, and that's exactly what life is, and that's what this whole thing taught us. Am I a philosopher to be waffling? Towards the end of like either year 10 or year 12, depending on what year you are in, you would have mastered the subjects you're doing, or if you haven't mastered the subjects you're doing, like, you would have gained a good understanding of it at least. Like if you haven't, then it's peak for you if you haven't. So since now that you have a better understanding, like it'll feel like your brain power is increased. You just understand everything more. Like it will make you become more confident. It will feel like you've been studying the subject for years, even though like you've only been studying it for probably about 3 years. And if you started the course in year 12, you'd only study it for like a year. When it comes to going into year 13, like it's always good to have a good work ethic, and I feel like being able to have a good understanding of the subject towards the end of like year 10 or 12 allows you to improve your work ethic overall. What you could do to like improve your work ethic is make revision material. Like it's good to make revision material when it comes to being in exam year, like year 11 and year 13. All I can say is that you should try and at least have a good revision technique in order to like pass your exams and in order to like retain information. Like during sixth form I studied economics. In economics you take a lot of notes since it's an essay based subject. So these are the books that I did. Like this is the main revision guide that the teacher went through with us, and this is also like the notebooks I took like each course in. For example, this is microeconomics. See, this is microeconomics, if it could focus, and this is also macroeconomics as well. So that's why I took the notes. And for revision material, made flashcards for the small topics within the book. This is my revision strategy. Like you can use different revision strategies. Like you could use mind maps, you could do past paper questions, all that kind of stuff. There's different ways of revising, whatever way you're comfortable with. Just make sure you establish a good revision technique. It's important, especially when you get into exam year, or else you're going to find it difficult. Since it's exam season and everybody's trying to like revise, everyone's trying to get the grades, all that kind of stuff, there wouldn't be enough time for socializing like there was before. A lot of people would even start to become antisocial since they're so busy and trying to get the good grades and that. But doing this isn't always the best thing. To be antisocial, like it's not the best thing at all. Like it's good to revise, don't get me wrong, but at the same time you need to have a balance. Like you need to still like be able to do the fun things that you like to do. You don't want to end up revising so much to the point where you just feel mentally exhausted. At the same time as well, there would obviously like be a bunch of people that wouldn't actually do any effort. Like they'll just socialize, they'll just play around, mess about and everything, and you'd be wondering like how are they gonna like get the grades they need, and they would just tell you that, oh, I'm just gonna revise for the real thing. If you're thinking of doing the same thing as them, you're an idiot. Don't do it. You're gonna jam. You're just like limiting yourself completely. And on top of that as well, just because it's not the real thing doesn't mean it's not going to be useful. In order to like apply for these schools, you need to have good prediction. Don't listen to people that will just tell you that, oh, you there's no need to revise. It's either that they haven't revised at all and they're just trying to make themselves feel more confident and make people copy what they're doing, or they have, but they're trying to say to you that they haven't revised to make themselves look a lot more smarter than they are, so they can have more confidence as well. Like, these people, fam, they're insecure. Don't listen to them. Everybody in like year 11 and year 13 revises a lot and try and get the best grades they can in their exams to obviously try and get into a good sixth form, or if you're in year 13, just to try and get into a good university. When you do try and apply for this, you need to have a good UCAS application, especially when you're trying to go into university. And the best way to do that is to have a good personal statement as well. A lot of you probably don't know what a personal statement is. It's basically like a CV. Instead of like trying to show your best self to a job worker, you're trying to like show your best self to the university, your passion for the subject, why you like the subject, all that kind of stuff. It's not as long as you think it is as well. It's only like a page and a half. Like, it shouldn't be too long. If you're still struggling to write, like, the teachers go through it. The teachers go through it in the form time when you're like year 13. So yeah, they'll like explain to you what to write, what to not do, what to do, and everything. All that stuff is explained to you. So there's no need to worry about that. When you do apply for university, make sure you meet the entry requirements of the university you're trying to go to, because you don't want to look like some massive twat that like wants to go to university where you need like AAA, or you're predicted a BCC. Like, you just look stupid. Like, not every very good uni is meant for you. Like, it has to match with what grades you're getting at the moment. That's why it's important to get the highest grade you can get, so you can increase your chances of getting into a good university, or increase the chances of getting into as many universities. It is a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it when you get those high grades towards the end of August. All you can do is just trust the process and just be patient. Everything that's good is always going to take a while for it to come, and anything that's bad is just going to come quick. So all I can say is don't stress, stay blessed. That's all I have to say about the second year of sixth form / the final year of secondary school. If you did like all of the advice that I gave to you guys, then just like and subscribe to the channel. It would be much appreciated. It's J Money, and I'm signing out in a bit.